What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another post-match fan show, and it is yet another defeat for Tottenham Hotspur. That's 4 defeats in our last 5 games. And it's the old Dr. Tottenham coming through once again. And you can have these lovely wins against Leicester City in the last minute and these lovely wins against Manchester City in the last minute. But if you don't back them up with wins afterwards, especially as the top 4 race is so tight, ultimately means nothing, doesn't it?
Absolutely right. Doesn't matter if you beat Man City, if you lose to Burnley away. That's just the facts of the matter. And we all knew it was going to be a completely different task ahead of us today. A new set of challenges. It was always going to be very, very difficult for Tottenham and to see if we had answers to the problems Burnley were going to pose. You know, they weren't going to leave the space that Man City left for us. They weren't going to... It's going to be as easy to deal with from set pieces and stuff like that. They're going to be a lot more physical. They're going to be defending a lot deeper. And we didn't have an answer to it, unfortunately, at the end of the day. How many clear-cut chances did we create? Ben Davies had a chance with the ball bouncing around in the box a bit. Kulusevski had a decent opening, though you wouldn't call that a big chance. You know, if he scores that, it's a pretty good goal. So I don't remember too many clear-cut openings we really created against Burnley. And you've got to say, they were well worth the 3 points. They played really well, defended really resolutely. And when they got their chances from set pieces, they looked very, very dangerous. And that was their game plan. And it played off to perfection. Yeah, unfortunately, you've got to give credit to Burnley for the way they conducted their game plan, because I think they played really well today, Burnley. But that's not taking away from the fact how poorly Spurs played today. Because we really should be creating a lot more chances than we did today. I mean, I remember that one from Harry Kane hit the bar from a set piece. I think it was Ben Davies forcing the keeper into a save. But apart from that, it was few and far between what we were creating. So I think, in my opinion, probably our best player today was probably Romero, and he was the one that lost the header for the goal. So it's a tough one to take today. Yeah. It's a tough one to take today. But let's start bringing on the guests. We're going to put the clock on now. Your Tottenham therapy session starts now. So we're getting paid by the hour, are we?
By the hour, by the minute, by the second. And the first person to come on is EastEnders' very own Barry, apparently.
Oh, where's the...
Barry, we can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
No, he's not. I heard him.
Sloppy,
there you go.
sloppy boys. Sorry, boys.
It's all right.
It's like a soap opera at the moment, isn't it?
Literally. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, assess the game for me today, Barry.
There was no. I mean, look, we know that it was going to be a different game, and there weren't going to be the spaces that there were against City that we could exploit. But the wing backs didn't create anything. Obviously, Bentancur coming off was a big difference. Obviously, Conte's trusting wing was Winks. It was just, you know, can we do it in a cold, rainy, wet night in Burnley? And the answer is no. So, yeah, we're. I don't know how positive Aravin's going to be about this result, but I hope he. I don't know what to say. I'm just absolutely flabbergasted, if I'm honest.
What do you think? Why do you think we? Why do you think we struggled so badly today?
I just think, again, did we think we were just going to go in there and win the game? I don't know. The weather, because you weren't there. I don't know.
Trust me, Barry, we've been at many losses before. I couldn't put it down to that.
No. I don't know. Well, what can we say? It's the end of February. Honestly, I'm shocked after Saturday's performance to put in a performance like that. I don't know. The neutrals must love us, right? Because who else in a week would be blow the title race open and blow the relegation battle open and screw our own top 4 hopes up? So, the neutrals must love us. But yeah, I'm just yeah, I'm lost. I'm lost for words.
Yeah, we
Nothing else
must
to
be
say.
gaining a lot of friends around the Premier League at the moment. A lot of we're doing a lot of clubs, a lot of favours. And Peter Scott in the comments has a comment for you, and he says Spurs caused Barry more pain than Janine. I'm guessing that's an EastEnders reference, but I don't really get it. But
yeah. Well, Janine pushed me that off the cliff, didn't she? So,
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, that definitely caused me more pain. That definitely caused me more pain. But hey, look, we go again. We go again against Leeds, and yeah, Stel, we have lunatic fans, mate. You're right. You're one of them, Stel. I don't know why you're calling everyone else lunatic, mate.
We can't hear him,
yeah,
but look, is that what do you think that does to our top 4 hopes? Is it fatal, or is it just damaging and there's still hope? Done.
It's done. Saturday we were back in it, right? With a slim chance. But yeah, it's done now. We'll be, it's done. It's absolutely done. And like I don't see how anyone can convince me. Unfortunately.
any positives to take from this? Any players impressed you tonight?
No.
Fair enough.
Short, sweet. No. Yeah. No. Look, I like you said, Dr. Tottenham's back, and yeah, I don't think apart from that chance, that Kane header onto the bar, we didn't really create anything else of any note. So yeah, I don't really think we can say that. I think collectively, it was a poor performance, and we didn't go out and get that result that we needed. Like I said, we just needed 3 points. I don't care if it came off someone's backside or someone slid in and it hit them on their heel. We just needed 3 points tonight. But four losses out of 5. Top 4 is done.
What is it about this team, Barry? I mean, we have such good performances against Leicester, Brighton, back those up with 2 shocking performances against Southampton and Wolves, then go to Man City and win, in another really good display, and then back it up with this. What is it about this team?
It's the mentality of them. I think they don't have that mentality that Conte wants. That a few players in the squad have. I think it's just their mentality. Look, Southampton and Wolves, we all expected to win, but look at where they are and look at how they're playing. They're the ones that were with the mentality. Burnley tonight, they defended. They had their chance, bang, clinical, done. Me had more desire to get on the end of that ball, and I don't know whether we need to be playing when it's 20 degrees, no wind, and I don't know what they expect. It's just the mentality of that team is like some of us. We're expecting miracles, and if that squad is the best squad that Conte's one of the best squads that Conte's ever had, then I don't know. I think he's trying to kid us, really. So we need to strengthen. We need to regroup, but yeah, I don't know. In a way, I'm glad that we're not playing at home on Saturday, but it's it's going to be. Leeds have just got battered tonight. Do I think that we should beat them? Absolutely, because Leeds are poor. But based on what we've seen the last 2 games, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard one to take tonight, Barry. Just before we let you go, can you tell people where they can find you?
So you can find me on Shelfside Spurs tomorrow night. We're actually going to be discussing the badge issue, another one of the multiple of things that have come out with the
yeah, you're not hearing about this.
So we're going to be talking about every other club's badge and why it also incites violence or all these types of things to try and take a bit of heat off us. We probably won't talk about the game much. So Shelfside Spurs on a Thursday evening.
Just before you go, actually, can you just tell a few people about what this badge issue actually is?
So it's to do with the spur on the base of the feet. So it's to do with cockfighting, and animal rights activists are saying that it's it's encouraging cockfighting, and it shouldn't be.
No, that's not serious,
yeah.
is it? Is that serious?
Yeah.
Arsenal have a
Absolutely
cannon.
That's why we're going to talk about it tomorrow night.
It's ridiculous. What's that encouraging then? People to fire cannons at each other? Is that what that's encouraging? So stupid.
Exactly. It's so stupid. So yeah, that was another wonderful media shot fired at us again. So
and Man United have a devil. Are they trying to like get devil worship on everyone or something like that? Like every club's badge can be misconstrued in a certain way, can't it?
Yeah, it's just nonsense again. So yeah, if you want to do that, come and join us tomorrow, and we'll probably talk about that more than we will the game. So it'll be more controversial. But guys, thank you for having me on.
Nice one, Barry.
I saw how distraught everyone is, and let's try and keep us up. So I'll keep my chins up. You guys can keep your chin up.
Big up, Barry. Good to chat to you, mate, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Go on.
A few super chats to get through. Joey S is saying, "Love the show, lads. We all saw tonight coming. DNA," and I think that's spot on because I for one definitely saw this coming tonight. I really did.
Absolutely.
AT with a super chat saying, "I don't see any clear tactic in our game. Do you?"
Yeah, I see it. I see some clear tactics. They just don't have the players to do it. Talking about people being distraught, I think we have to talk about some of these quotes from Antonio Conte. They're just filtering through from his press conference. First of all, he says, "In the last 5 games, we lost 4. That is the reality. No one deserved this type of situation, but this is the reality. I came in to try and improve, and maybe in this moment, I'm not so good to improve the situation. I'm too honest to close my eyes to say okay. The players are the same. The club changes the coaches, but the players are always the same. But the results don't change. I'm too honest to accept this situation." And he says, "Someone has to speak about the race for top 4, but the reality is from the last 4 games, we have to not fight for the relegation zone."
Bloody hell. So it's gone from in under a week, Conte going, "This is one of the best groups of players I've ever managed," to "We're going to fight for relegation."
And Dan Kilpatrick says, in a dramatic post-match press conference, Conte questioned whether he is the right man for the Spurs job, saying, "Maybe I'm not so good," and suggests he would need to speak to the club about the situation.
Bloody hell.
That is Antonio
we can't go through this every week. Every week, if we win, it's all great and it's brilliant. And if we lose, it's like, oh, Conte's going. This is
everyone's going. It's all done.
It's just too much. All this, and Conte doesn't help himself in these situations as well. He's way too emotional.
It's worked in the past.
Yeah, well, he's never had this kind of losing 4 games in 5.
He said losing 4 out of 5 games doesn't happen to me.
Exactly. So, I mean, has it worked in the past? Because I've never seen him like this down, consistently.
I remember Inter Milan in his first season. He had at the beginning he had a lot of struggles.
Yeah, but he finished second that season.
Yeah, I know. He finished second that season, and he didn't come in mid-season, but he still at the start. I remember they lost quite a few games.
Even that season they were quite good for the title until the last 4 or 5 games or whatever.
I'm saying at the beginning of the season. He had a few troubles. I remember Chelsea, right at the beginning, he had a few troubles.
Yeah, definitely at Chelsea.
It's not like he's always been win all the time wherever he's gone.
But at Chelsea, it was in the first 4 or 5 games, they weren't that good. And then they changed something and they went on the mad run.
Yeah.
He's been at us for 3 months now? The squad is just nowhere near good enough. That's the crux of the situation. And
that's what he's being honest about.
I know he's being honest, but if he's saying he's not the right man, what is that telling everyone? What is he going to?
He doesn't say he's not the right man. He just says maybe I'm not good enough to change the situation.
Isn't the words he said? Maybe I'm not the right man.
No, he didn't say that.
Maybe I'm not so good.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends what he means. You could take that a few ways, I guess.
All right, let's keep going. KPV, let's bring him on. Kyle, how's it going, mate?
I'm okay.
What's with the red shirt?
Maybe
that's why we lost. You're watching Spurs in red.
No, it's a Monday Night War t-shirt, my friend.
Say again?
It's a Monday Night War t-shirt, WWE t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it's a WE top. Because I'm a big WWE fan, like I've been for a decade since I watched it with my dad.
What went
That's
wrong today, Kyle?
like, I don't know, mentality. Like, after that performance against City, like, we win, and then 4 days later, we lose to a team who are fighting for relegation, like, fighting for their lives. Like, what's going on? Like, we've lost 4, and, like, we went on this amazing one under Conte, like, we hadn't lost a single league game, then we go and lose. Like, seriously, something needs to change. We need,
What is that something?
I don't know, like, Winks isn't good enough. I don't know why, but he sucks.
Yeah.
Is that top 4 done for you now?
No, I don't think so. It's not over yet. Like, I think someone said in the comments, if we win our last 10 out of our 17 games, then we're on what, 69 points. Then that gets us Champions League. That's what someone said in the chat, I think. But, like, Benton went off injured. Maybe he was carrying like a hip injury or something. Wishing him a speedy recovery, because Bentancur has impressed me since we signed him. He's done brilliant. Had brilliant performance at the weekend. Like, Kulusevski's impressed me, but why bring Winks on for Bentancur? Like, should have brought on Bergwijn instead of Winks. Winks is poor. Like, I know he's Tottenham through and through. Bring on Bergwijn instead of Winks. Like, Winks has to leave.
Fair enough. Did anyone play well tonight for you?
Yeah, I think it was Emerson Royale and Romero. I think, but I have to give Romero because Romero was outstanding tonight. Like, played brilliant, done well, but just didn't defend properly. But we go against Saturday against Leeds. Like, we actually beat them. That was what, Conte's first home game in charge, right? So, like, do the double over Leeds. Like, done a double over City. Can beat Leeds away. Like, Leeds' home record is poor. They've lost, I don't know how many home games this season. They've conceded more goals than they did the whole of last season. So, we need to win this on Saturday. We haven't done pretty good on a lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday. For, I don't know, whenever, but we need to win this on Saturday, man, because I am sick and tired of bringing Winks on. I don't want Winks. I don't want Winks coming on. It better be Bergwijn.
All right, Carl. Thanks a lot for coming on today, mate, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, I've got a new Xbox, by the way.
That's
A
good
new
to
one?
hear. Good to hear.
The white one. Yeah, the one Xbox Series S. And when are you guys going to be back on FIFA? Because I challenge one of you.
Only one of us. You can't take both of us on.
Well, I think you two play against other people. Like, you two play against 2 people. So I could take both of you on. Like, when are you going to be back on FIFA? Tomorrow?
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. We're not too sure. Tomorrow's a very busy day with the post-match stuff, but we have to move on because we got a lot of guests to get through.
Cool, mate. I'll see you, like, I don't know, Saturday maybe, anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, Carl.
Come on, you Spurs. Fuck COVID, we years. As Brian would say, big up, Brian. Yeah. Fuck
Big
COVID,
up.
we years.
Love it.
See you later, mate. That's Carl Patrick Vineyard. And now let's move on to Grandpa. Grandpa.
Oh, he's on mute. Is he on mute?
Am I on mute?
No, you're fine.
No,
You're fine. You're
We
fine.
can hear you. How
All
are
right.
you, Grandpa?
Hi. Hi, you guys. What a shame. Disappointing. What a disappointing game. However, there were some positives, I think.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Someone's got positives.
Well, as I said last week, to one of the questions I think from Brian, that that's the only way to go. We all have to be positive because it gets into their heads, it gets into the crowd's head, and it's like COVID, it's in the air, and the more we can be positive, the better it can be. And I think, well, first of all, I think Kane again was the man of the match, but very close was Romero. I thought he had the best game that we've seen him since he joined us.
Wow.
He had a good game, and that's a positive. I thought that Royal. I thought that he was great, and it was disappointing. I mean, he was getting them across, but Son, I think, missed two great opportunities by not passing the ball and actually taking a shot. One where Kane was clearly in the clear and he didn't do it. I was a bit disappointed with Son, but I thought Royal did very well. I think we should be giving Reguilon a go as well, because he does get up the wing there more than anybody else has been on that left wing. So there was some positives. I think one of the things that was really against us was the weather. I think we didn't control the ball as well as they did in that very gusty, wet day, and I think that was a bit sad, and that was against us. And I think they're more used to that weather in Burnley than they are in London.
That's definitely true. Have you heard what Antonio Conte has had to say after the game?
No, what did he say?
Well, he's he's a very emotional guy, Antonio Conte, and he's questioning whether he's good enough to improve the situation in Tottenham, seeing as we've lost 4 out of 5 games. And he said they always change the coaches, but the players remain the same. What do you think about that? Do you think he's guilty of being too honest, or do you think it's good that he's just saying it how it is?
I think he's being. I think he's losing his mind, if that's what he thinks. Because I think Conte has made a huge difference already, even though he's lost his last few games. He's brought the team together. I thought the fact that we beat City, you just can't ignore the brilliance of that game. And I think he was just. We had more chances. We had more possession today. We just couldn't get it in the net. We hit the post once, didn't we? The goal post once. We did have chances, and so I wouldn't say that he's failing at all. I think he is moving ahead. He needs a few more players. We know that, but the new people he brought in, they didn't have bad games. But Holbier again, who was so great against City, he didn't have a very good game, and I think it's just a bit disappointing. And I think it was the weather which played a big difference. I mean, he started off with a similar plan. I think none of us actually saw the first 5 minutes, but listening to the commentary, apparently they virtually got a goal in the first 5 minutes from kickoff. But I don't think I've seen it. But it was obviously a plan that he's got. So I say to you, Mr. Conte, don't give up. Look at the positive things that you're doing and keep it up. Maybe we don't get to 4th, but let's get our team together, playing well together, and get some new people in the new season, and then we'll be raring to go. That's my thoughts.
Love the positivity from Grandpa as always. Whenever we have a frown on our face, you're always here to turn it the other way around. So thanks for that, Grandpa, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, cheers.
See you, Grandpa.
Come on, you.
Come on, you Spurs.
Someone
in the comments gave a quote from Antonio in the press conference and says, I think you read about a little bit of the quote, and it says, I need to talk to the club. Tottenham have to make an assessment about the club, about me. We need to find the best solution because I can't accept to keep losing. I'm sorry. I mean, what else is he supposed to do from now to the end of the season? He's got what he's got.
Oh, God. It's all going to fall apart, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Just going to keep losing. We're going to lose Conte. Doesn't sound great from him. He's so emotional, man. He is so emotional.
Yeah, I've never actually seen a manager as emotional as this guy before.
Yeah,
it's like
unbelievable.
when we win, oh, it's the best group of players I've ever managed, and when we lose, it's like, oh, I need to get the hell out of here. It's like Crocodox with the super chat as well. Big up Crocodox. He says, guys, you might want to read Conte's post-match quote. It isn't looking good.
Yeah, we're reading them now, Crocodox, and we're getting people's reaction to them as well. I also want to watch it as well, just to see his demeanour. We'll watch it tomorrow, probably. We might get on at the end of the show. We'll see. But
no one can accuse the Italian media of screwing this one up,
no,
can they?
definitely not. He's saying it as it is, and he definitely seems to be taking a shot at the hierarchy. 100%. When he says the managers always change, but the players stay the same.
But Mourinho said the same thing.
Yeah,
everyone
he said
beat down Mourinho.
What did he say? Same coach, different players.
Yeah,
that's what he said. And,
a few people are asking me to read out Fabrizio Romano's latest tweets. So let me just get them up. There's a few quotes from Conte on the tweets. I think it's what you've read already, but I'll just read them again. The first one was 15 minutes ago. It says, maybe I'm not so good. Tottenham called me to change things, but I'm too honest. We are doing everything to change the situation, but it's not enough. 4 defeats out of 5 is not good enough. This doesn't happen to me. And then the other quote is the one I just read out a second ago. And here coaches change, but players are always the same, but results don't change.
And he also said, I could just take my salary every week and not say anything, but I'm too honest. That's what he said. So
let's go and bring on our next guest, and that is Coach Stell.
Wow.
Coach Stell. There might be a job opening soon. You up for it?
Maybe the hierarchy are watching some of our tactics videos. Maybe you can put your hat in the ring.
I have the pen. Ready to sign.
Would you sign under Daniel Levy though?
Under those conditions?
Oh no! Never in a million years.
What's your reaction? First of all, what's your reaction to these comments from Conte? I want to know what you've got to say on that.
Yeah, look, let's put it into perspective, okay? We had the kind of mixed message lost in translation last time. Just reading briefly what he said. And I'm like Sim. I need to look at the body language, the demeanour and whatnot. But what he's saying is that players come and go. The players are the same. All right? It's an honest thing to say. Mourinho said the same. He's digging out the board. Again, he's digging out the board and he's saying, if you don't change, then I will move. He's just reminding them, look at what I'm having to deal with. Don't you dare put this on me. Is it a wise thing to say that? Is it going to help the team? Is it going to help us going forward? Well, he said that I could just take my salary and stay quiet, but I'm too honest. So what we can't do is think of what previous managers have said and now look at Conte and say, oh, but look, we've been here before. We've heard all this before. No, we've got to just take Conte for who he is and what he's saying. If some of what he says matches what previous managers said, then maybe, the previous managers weren't as bad as what everyone made them out to be. Unless Conte is a bad manager as well, and then he'll be number 16 under ENIC of managers that aren't good enough. So I just think he's frustrated, he's angry. The players clearly don't have the quality. And I've had this conversation with you guys many a time. I've said it before. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I had a massive rant where I said, they'll always let us down. Just when you think it's right, they'll find a way to fuck it up. We'll go on a good run at some point. And just when you think, here we go, top 4, they'll lose to Norwich or they'll lose to Everton. And here we are. We beat Man City. A fantastic performance by the players. The tactics perfectly executed. Wonderful, wonderful Tottenham. We deserve to win it. And then we go away to a team in the relegation zone who are absolute crap. And we lose 1-0, That's what we do, guys. Fans just need to accept reality. And what is the reality? Number one, the players aren't good enough. We don't have the quality. I've banged on about this for a few call-in shows and tactical shows. I've said it. It's all good and well when the starting 11's on the pitch. As soon as you got to take off Bentancur and in comes Winks, as soon as Amora comes on, the wing backs, they're not good enough. Emerson and Doherty, they're not good enough. Ben Davies, let's be honest, he's not good enough. He'll have a good game once in a while, but he's not good enough. Is Sessegnon good enough? No, he's not. So you look at it and you think, well, there's about 9 or 10 players that possibly are good enough, and then the entire squad after that is just not good enough. And Man United, they bought Varane, Ronaldo, Sancho in the summer. Arsenal have been building for 3 years under Arteta. Clubs, teams, they're catching up with us, and we're regressing. Listen, we'll probably go away to Leeds United and spank them 4-0, and then we'll get kicked out the cup on Tuesday, right? That's what Tottenham do. I'll say this again. If we can get top 6, right? If we can get top 6 and to the semi-final of the FA Cup, I think Conte's done a great job with these sets of players. Anything more than that, 5th, 4th, God forbid, 3rd, the FA Cup final, win the FA Cup, anything above the semi-final of the FA Cup and top 6 is unbelievable if Conte can do that. Other than that, I think we just got to get we just got to be realistic, man. These players aren't as good as people think they are. They're really not.
You say that they're not as good as people think they are, but when you look at these last 5 games, right? We've lost to Southampton, we've lost to Wolves, now we've lost to Burnley. I mean, surely they're good enough to get results in these kind of games, especially those 2 home games. I know Burnley's a hard place to go, but surely they're not as bad as these results suggest.
Do we have the players to consistently play a possession-based, high press, excellent decision-making style of football? No, we don't. Do we have the players to once in a while put a passage of play together, which looks really good? Yes, we do. But if you want us to consistently play the way Southampton play, the way Man City play, the way Liverpool play, that takes 2-3 years. Hasenhüttl's been at Southampton for how long? 3 years? 2 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Pep's been there for 6. Klopp's been there for 6. We spoke about this on the Tactics show. To develop a style, a way of playing, the manager's got to be there for 2-3 years, guys. Even Pep needed, until the second season and £300 million. It took Klopp 4 years to begin to really challenge for the major trophies. So you can't look at this team and say to me, but surely we should be good enough to... Well, the answer is no, Ben. We're not good enough. And this is the tough pill that I think fans are struggling to swallow. I think fans in general, not just you, Ben, most fans, it's a tough thing to accept. We're actually not that good, but we've always got a really good performance in us. And
That keeps us giving us hope, doesn't it? Those odd good performances like Liverpool at home and City away, and then you think, oh, what this team could be. But
well, let me ask you this question, right? We finished, we were 15th place under Poch when he got sacked. Mourinho came in and we finished 7th. The season Mourinho got sacked, we finished 7th again under Ryan Mason. Nuno had us mid-table, he got sacked. In came Conte, now we're 8th. So just look at let's just look at the pattern over the past 3 years. 7th, 8th now. In those,
I believe we finished 6th under Mourinho's first season, so 6th, 7th, 8th.
Beg your pardon, 6th, 7th, 8th. So we're kind of above mid-table, just below top 6 kind of area, right? In those 3 years of finishing in the same position, tell me what brilliant signings we've made to fix that team that finished 6th and 7th 2 years ago, other than Romero.
We haven't, Stel, because the last player, apart from Romero, we've signed to actually properly impact that first team was Heung-min Son.
Right. So in that same time frame, Arsenal have signed Gabriel, Ben White, Tierney, Nicolas Partey. They brought in Martinelli. All good players, in my opinion. Right? They're all good players. Are they wow? I don't know, but they're good. In the same time, Man United have signed Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane, Bruno Fernandes. Okay, all good players, right? All really good players. So if they're our main two rivals for top four, beg your pardon, over the past 2-3 years, they've improved the squad where we haven't. And that's the kind of message I'm trying to send out to people. The squad is not good enough, guys. It needs at least 5 to 6 really, really, really good players to come in so that we can have consistency in the results. So we might not play brilliantly just yet. It might even take 2 or 3 years to play brilliant football. But to get results consistently, we need at least 5 or 6 players of high quality minimum. And, you know, that's why Conte is saying things like, maybe I'm not the right man for this job, because Conte, he's not a guy that waits 2-3 years. He's like, I want players now. I want it my way now, and leave the rest to me. You know, a lot of people criticize Pep Guardiola, and it really pisses me off when they do that, because they will say, oh, look at him. He only goes to clubs where he gets 100 million, 500 million pounds. He can't do it at Burnley. Well, here's the thing. When you're an exceptional coach, you only go to clubs that are going to back you. And you know what? Those clubs, they back you because they know you're going to win trophies. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went to Man United. They spent 300 million. What did he deliver? Nothing. That's why Pep is class, because when he is backed, he guarantees trophies. Klopp guarantees trophies. If you back Conte, he guarantees trophies. So it's not about elite managers only doing it at elite clubs. They go to elite clubs because they know they're going to get backed, and in return, they deliver trophies for the club. So it all rests on this summer. Are the board going to back Conte if he doesn't get top 4? Because he's not going to get top 4 in my view. I think it is such a big ask to get top 4 with this squad. You know, one injury, one substitution, one suspension, and we're panicking. Tonight, it once again showed, if Heung-min Son and Harry Kane aren't scoring goals, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
Yeah. In terms of what Conte was saying, right, very emotional press conference today. Do you think there's a chance that if we do keep losing, next few games, or if we have, let's say, that over the next 5 games we lose 3 of them, do you think there is a chance that he could walk before the end of the season?
I think he'll get sacked.
You think he'll get sacked?
Yeah. Look at Daniel Levy's track record. He doesn't care. If you go on a bad losing streak, he doesn't care who you are. He will sack you. Just look at Daniel Levy's track record. He did it to Poch. He did it to what's his name? The one that won us the Carabao Cup. Juan de Ramos. He did it to Nuno. He did it to Mourinho. Do you think he cares that Conte's the manager? If Conte goes on a bad run and loses the next 5, 6, 7, he'll get sacked.
Wow. I can't see Conte being sacked.
So are you telling me, Sim, if he loses the next 6, 7 games, Levy's going to be like, that's okay. Sorry, Ben, beg your pardon. Levy's it's classic Stelios move, isn't it? Sim's Ben, Ben is Sim, you know.
Go on.
He'll sack him. That's what he does. If top 6 is definitely not gonna, if top 6 looks like a serious doubt, he will sack him. Do a panic move like Daniel Levy always does. Put a panic manager in charge and hope there's some kind of bounce to get top 6, because he needs the money. You can't attract naming rights to the stadium if you're not in the elite levels of football, which is put in front of the billions of fans around the world. You need to be in Champions League. You can't attract the best players if you're not in, the top levels of Europe. You can't spend the money on players and wages and pay off the debts of the stadium unless you're in that top level of football. So if he feels that the club is under threat from not getting that top level of Europe, and I'm only talking about top 6 for now, I think he'll sack him. And if Conte feels he's going to get sacked, he'll probably walk anyway. So, and then we'll see a shit show.
Yeah, but if you're Daniel Levy and Conte is going through these run of games, and you're thinking, and he's going, all right, maybe I should sack him because that's what I usually do with managers that go on a bad run of games. What's the plan after that in Daniel Levy's mind? Well,
there isn't a plan, Ben. There hasn't been a plan for 21 years. There's never been a plan for the football team.
When you look at it, when
Pochettino,
when he sacked Pochettino, he had Jose Mourinho the next day. I know we waited 75 days for Nuno to come in, but usually there's a plan to bring in another manager.
Okay, so short-term plan. Yes, there's always a short-term plan. The quick fix. That it'll just be a panic move. Whatever panic decision makes sense at the time to the club. Listen, I don't see us losing 5 or 6 games. By the way, I don't see that happening.
We've just lost 4 in our last 5.
Yeah, I know, but I don't see us losing another 4 or 5 because I said the team isn't good enough, as in it's not good enough for top 4, but the team isn't absolute shit. It's not a relegation team. We're better than mid-table, right? We're between that kind of 8th to 6th place kind of position. So he'll get points on the board, Conte. Part of me thinks as well he's just reminding the board, like, I need better than what you did in January regarding the team. I need bigger investment, or it could just be deep down. The more games we lose, the more games he feels like, do you know what? I personally, as a coach, I can't do this, and maybe it just isn't for me. But I don't think that's what he meant. By the way, I don't think that's what he meant. You know, you as a fellow Mediterranean, I can tell you, and you know, you spoke about it tonight. We're very emotional people. You know, everything we talk with the hands, and we sometimes overinflate situations because that you know you live off of passion, man. It's the passion that keeps you doing what you do, and he is certainly that kind of a manager. You can tell. And when we win, we love his passion. We absolutely love his passion. When we lose, we just got to take what he says with a bit of pinch of salt and just remember he's a hot-blooded Italian, man. That's what makes him so successful. And if you take that out of Conte, you take the winner out of the man. It's a bit like Dele Alli. If you take the nastiness out of Dele, look what you get, a TikToker.
All right, Stel. Big up, mate. Great to hear from you again. And we'll speak to you soon.
Boys, let's just do the best we can. We've got to get top 6 minimum. Make sure that we back Tottenham against Leeds United, even though tonight is a shit result. We all said it was probably going to happen, so we shouldn't be surprised. But we've got to beat Leeds, man. If we beat Leeds, that's 6 points out of 9. And that's not as bad as 3 points out of 9.
Big up, Stel. Loving the positivity. We'll speak to you soon, mate.
Cheers, Stel.
A few super chats here. Harry Weston saying he seemed like he's going to force a resignation. I've never seen a post-match interview like it. I can't accept to keep losing. I'm sorry. Crazy scenes.
Yeah, it does seem like he's trying to send some sort of message, doesn't he? Like, this is not... I mean, I have to watch it. I have to watch what he said.
Yeah. Tin Man 007 with the super chat saying, listen to Conte's press conference. It should send shockwaves through every single Spurs fan. Sounds like he's walking to me. In comes Mason. I mean, that's just what everyone's going to kind of go to, isn't it? He's walking. After every loss, that's what everyone goes to.
That's where, because he does play into the narrative, to be fair.
I can't see this last one. Do you want to read that one out?
Steve Johnson says, is there anything more frustrating than being a Spurs fan? The highest of highs, beating City and then losing to Burnley. Thankfully, I support Liverpool. Cheers from Canada. Oh, thanks for that.
Well, thanks for the super chat anyway.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You pretty much summed it up. It's exactly what it's like supporting Tottenham. You can never get too comfortable, can you?
Yeah. Let's keep going with the guests. Next up is Philly Ali. Philly Ali, how are we doing today?
I'm doing good, guys. How are you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing good before the game. That game's kind of hit me for 6, even though I did kind of expect it. But even if you expect it, and when it comes, it doesn't make anything better, does it?
No. Yep. I'm in my bunker trying to pick up radio signals from the 60s, from the last time we won a goddamn trophy. And even in my bunker, I'm down here trying to protect myself, protect my emotions, and it hurts even down here when I knew what to expect.
You must be disappointed Delhi's gone, though, in January with your name. You have to reassess.
I know.
He's
but
the only Ali at
Delhi's
Tottenham now.
brother
He's original.
Yeah, well, Dele Alli's brother stays behind, so whatever.
What went wrong today, do you think, Philly?
Truthfully, I missed the first half, but from what it seems like, I didn't miss much, did I?
No, you didn't.
And what disappointed me was just the mentality. I kind of got the feeling by the end of the game, like obviously everyone was playing very carefully. It was slick out there. The conditions were crap. But I just always wonder from game to game, where does that like counterattacking like determination that we see against City, where does that go? Where does that go when we play these smaller teams?
Yeah, I mean, it was very difficult, comparing it to the performance against Man City when we had that such a brilliant game, and we just couldn't find the same kind of spaces in this game as we could last time out. And is that why do you think we struggled? Just Burnley had a different game plan?
No, I think it's mentality. I think it's we weren't attacking. We were going at the game like we were destined to win it. We weren't being ruthless. I mean, we've got guys like Kane and Son, and in order for us to win a game, they just got to put the team on their back and just go for it. I mean, for how defensive Burnley normally is, I thought there was a number of times we could have sprung a counterattack. But I think too often than not, we chose to hold the ball and try to work it around them. And I thought that played right into their strength, which is just a strong back line and kind of sitting deep.
What do you make out of what Conte has had to say in his post-match comments? What's your reaction to what he said?
Well, I've been trying to formulate this in my mind like all season, actually. I think because of the mentality at the top of the club, it filters down. And have you guys been seeing the memes for the NPCs, non-playable characters? Have you seen those memes?
Yeah.
So the idea is like we are always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Mm-hmm.
We are always the sidekick, the side character, the non-playable character in the story. We're not the team that goes to Barcelona and brings in a wonderful player. We're the team that helps Barcelona finance the winger from the Premier League that we wanted to buy.
Yeah.
We're not the team that is fighting for the fourth place spot, that is just begging for someone to take it. We're the team that gives Wolves the dark horse advantage when they're really getting hot. We're the team that last year when we were playing Everton that gets Richarlison firing. He's having a shitty season, and then he plays us and gets 3-4 goals. So situation. If this trend continues that we're not the main character of the story, are we going to be the team that loses Conte right when Manchester United, when Newcastle United is looking for that next step up in a coach? And it's a scary, scary situation, man. So the results today, like the game today, isn't what hurts me as much as the big picture.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point you make in terms of Man United, because the way Conte looks at it, if he leaves by the end of the season, Man United looking for a manager in the summer, I'm sure Conte will look at Man United and be like, they'll give me what I want to spend. They're a massive club. They're in the Champions League as it stands right this second. So why wouldn't he swap Tottenham for Man United if Tottenham aren't going to give him what he needs to succeed in the job?
God forbid, man.
I mean, I'll tell you, if I was him, I probably would be holding out for the Man United job.
how could you blame him? No, how could you blame him? I think Conte is the one hope that we have. Not only because he's the best manager in the world, but because he is going to speak his mind. And I think there's so many characters who have come through this last generation of Enoch at Spurs, who I would love to speak up. I would love to hear Danny Rose really tell us what happened, and why would he make a comment that, oh, I'm gonna wait out my contract, I'm never gonna get traded, when he's practicing with the under 23s. Like Trippier has had like really weird comments about kind of how Spurs are run. Obviously Pochettino, has been through all kinds of crazy stuff. I would love someone to just like talk their mind, and our best chance at that is Conte. It just hurts because, one of these things is not like the other. Like what sticks out at Spurs right now, we have the best coach in the world, but unfortunately the ownership of the club could not possibly match his ambition. He refuses to even talk about top 4. So what is he going to talk about? Top 6? He's not going to talk about the Conference League. Like, do you know what I mean? How close are we to losing him at this point?
Well, you know what? I'm looking at a little. Just someone tagged us in a clip of him, and he looks fuming. He looks furious. He really does. Yeah. And you read those comments, and you're thinking, they don't sound very good. And then I'm looking at his demeanor. He looks like a guy on the brink. He's just so emotional. I have to watch the thing in full, yep. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this isn't what he's used to, is it? These kind of situations. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, Philly,
it's a roller coaster. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much. It's good to see you guys. Stay up. Keep your head up. And we got to just figure out ways to keep pressure on the board. So honestly, I hope Conte keeps talking. Come on, you Spurs, and Levy out.
Philly, before you go, actually, I just wanted to say one thing. Massive thank you to you for the way you're sending food over to Brian Daigle, apparently a gourmet burger and stuff like this. So big up to you. Some really good work over there.
Hey, man, one thing that can lift anybody's spirit is some good old-fashioned comfort food. We got to figure out as a fan base how to support each other, how to keep our morale up. I have been to protests in the United States before, and it's hard for those guys to go out there because they have all the attention on them. But what they're trying to do is draw attention to a larger issue. We got to support the way we can. I would be out at Hotspur Way if it wasn't for the 10,000-mile distance or whatever it is. So send them a burger and clap on the back. Big up to Brian Daigle and everybody fighting for what's best for the club. You guys are a part of that, man. It's so wonderful to connect with fans all across the world. It's something special about the Spurs supporters. And, let's just keep dreaming and pushing for those glory days to return.
Definitely. Philly,
we can dream.
Always great to speak to you, my friend, and we'll speak to you in a bit. That was Philly Ali.
Apparently, Conte refused to take any questions on the game today and only wanted to talk about the situation in his press conference.
His press conference was only 5 minutes today.
Yeah, he only took 2 questions. And they first asked him about the game and he refused to talk about the game.
When before he was like, I only want to talk about football.
He said he just wants to talk about the situation, and he just reiterates he can't.
Well, I think have we got the press conference now? Yeah. We've got the press conference now.
Play it.
It's 5 minutes. Let's play it.
Hi, Antonio.
Hi.
What was your assessment of the game today, and why do you think your team found it so much more difficult to make the space that they successfully made against Manchester City on Saturday?
I don't want to comment the game, and I want to comment only the situation that in the last 5 games we lost four times. This is the reality. But no performance, space, no space. The reality is this, that we lost 4 games the last 5 games. I think no one deserves this type of situation, and the club, me, the players, the fans. But this is the reality. I came in to try to improve the situation in Tottenham, but maybe in this moment, I don't know, but I'm not so good to improve the situation. And yeah, for me, it's very frustrating because I know that we are working hard, we are working a lot, and we are trying to get out the best of single players. But the reality is this, and I think I'm too honest to close my eyes and to tell, okay, and on Saturday we are going to play another game, and I think that it's right the moment to see well which is the situation, and to make assessment. Also, I repeat, and I'm really frustrated, and I'm not used and to face with this type of situation, and but the problem that I repeat, I'm trying to do everything and to change the situation, but the situation is not changing. Someone has to speak about the race for the 4th place, and the reality that in the last 5 games, and we have to pay attention, don't fight for the relegation zone. This is the truth. This is the reality. And when happen this type of situation, maybe there is something wrong. And I don't want to close my eyes, and I want to take my responsibility. If I have the responsibility, and I'm open for every decision, because I want to help Tottenham. And for the first day that I arrived here, I want to help Tottenham. And I repeat, I'm too honest to close my eyes and to continue in this way. And yeah, also to take my salary, but it's not right in this moment.
Alistair Gold, please.
Hi there, Antonio. I mean, you touched on it there briefly. I mean, obviously, this is a situation that you're not used to. I mean, has there been any club before where you've struggled with the consistency of your team and to find some stability? And if not, where do you draw any experience on to change it?
Believe me, we are working a lot. We are working hard, and every day. And I think that we are doing everything to try to improve the situation, but maybe it's not enough. It's not enough. And I repeat, for me, it's very frustrating. 4 defeats in the last 5 games. This is the first time in my life that happened this type of situation. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not so good. I'm not so good I'm not. Maybe I'm not so good. Yes, I'm not so good, and I think Tottenham called me to improve the situation, but I'm too honest. I'm too honest to close my eyes. You understand, and to continue to tell, okay, but I want to finish my season in this way, and okay, but my salary is good. No, but I'm not this type of person. I have ambition. I'm a person that I have ambition. I hate to lose, and we lost, I repeat, 4 games in the last 5 games. And for me, I repeat, this is unacceptable, and I want to accept this, and I want to try, yeah, to move the situation, also to make assessment with the club, because if we continue this way, maybe, and we have to pay great attention, and because yeah, this league, and we can finish 10, 12, 13, and in the same way that when I arrive here, no, the same position.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much.
All right, so that was every word Antonio had to say.
Wow.
I mean,
that was pretty explosive. Yeah, well, I must say, there's nothing taken out of context there or anything. He is not happy at all, and he looks like he's broken, to be honest.
yeah.
And what he's saying we're working hard to change the situation, and it's not changing.
If Jose Mourinho comes out with that, I mean, everyone is going mad at him. But
I mean, is he being too harsh on himself? I think clearly, when a manager is at the level that he's at, and has won what he's won, and has been like, especially every club he's been at, Juventus, even Italy. I know he didn't win anything in Italy, but he did a very good job with Italy.
with not such a great team.
Yeah, Chelsea and Inter Milan. He's won so much, and consistently he's won things. And then he hits this kind of form. Before, obviously we've lost four of the last 5 games, but before then, like, we were unbeaten in 9 games in the league.
Yeah.
And we won 6, drawn 3. Like, we were going well. Things had improved. I think clearly we can see the even. I know today we lost and whatever, and even in the other losses, but I can definitely see we're better than we were before he came in. Like, we weren't getting a shot on target before he came in. We're much better than that now.
Yeah, but just because we're much better, we're still so far off to what we want to be. So far off.
I know, but like, is he saying maybe I'm not so good? Like, he seems to be questioning himself, is my point. And it's like, is he not? Do you think maybe he's being harsh on himself? Maybe that's what the whole thing is. Like, he's got such a high expectations for himself and his team, and this kind of form, like but what I'm saying is, he's saying that we're trying so hard to change it and it won't change. It's like, all right, it's 5 games, no, albeit very bad form, but give it a chance.
Yeah, I mean, he did say in that thing that he does want to finish the season, which is
no, it's not what he did. He said, like, what I'm going to say kind of like counteracts that, because he said, like, maybe I'll say I'll finish the season and take my salary and all will be good, but I can't close my eyes to the problem.
Saying he's not going to finish the season.
I'm saying he might not. That's what I took from what he said there, because he was saying, like, maybe I'll finish. Maybe I can say I'll finish the season. I'll just take my salary and I can, and we have another game Saturday. We can move on. But I'm too honest, and I can't close my eyes to the problems.
I think it's important, to take a bit of a step back from this and kind of wait and see what he says in his press conference on Friday, because everything's way too raw at the moment, way too emotional. We know what Conte is like. We've seen it before. Just after the Man City game, he said, this is one of the best groups of players I've worked with. And now he's saying this. So I think that we just need to calm down a little bit, not take all of this too seriously, and just wait until he's calmed down and to see what he says on Friday, to be honest.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get a better indication of where his head is at. I think you're right. I think all managers, it happens often where they come out with something post-match and then all of a sudden things are calmed down once the dust is settled. And I'm sure it might be the same, but definitely judging by that interview, because when you speak to managers, you want to hear from them. You always think like everything. I forget they're human beings. You forget they also have emotions, and they hurt when they've lost games and stuff, because you feel like they're the manager of the team. So everything they say should be calculated and drawn towards getting the best out of the players and all these different things. But you forget, like, they also are human beings, and they have these. Especially with Conte, he's clearly very, very emotional person, and so. I think, yeah, you're right. As much as he's saying what he's saying right now, and part of him might believe it right now, but once the dust settled, maybe he'll calm down a bit and we'll see what he
Let's just
says.
hope he doesn't act upon these emotions and he's actually here by the time we do our next press conference.
Which will be on Friday. Yeah, I'm sure he will be.
Are you?
Yeah, he'll be here for Saturday. Not as sure as I was before the game, but I think he will be. I mean, but look, no getting about it. That post-match press conference was definitely, first of all, shot at the board, 100%. You got, like, he made a few things to say that, and maybe it was a wake-up call for the players a bit, because after the win against City, maybe he wanted a reality check for them, because maybe people were getting a bit too ahead of themselves about where we actually are.
Super chat from Ian Frencham says the only person that should be getting sacked because it's Daniel Levy. Levy, get out of our club.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, let's keep going with the guests, and we've got Andy S. Andy,
Hey guys.
how you doing, mate?
How you doing? So I'm in Arizona, so I'm about 7 hours behind you guys. So I'm in the middle of my work day. I had the TV going, no sound, just watch the game, which kind of gives you a different perspective. It's kind of what we see all the time, right? We beat the great teams and we lose to the shitty teams.
Yeah.
It's just I mean, how many years has it been that way? I mean, I've been watching Tottenham since I was eating, banana sandwiches with my dad in New Zealand, which is where I originally come from, at 2 in the morning, watching live games and seeing this kind of thing happen. And, while we're all on Levy, and I don't like the guy, but the club has improved as a business, as an entity, as a size, as a financial power since he's been in charge. But the results really do not reflect in any way. In fact, you could argue have been worse since he's been in charge. And kind of what I wanted to say was Conte being furious is actually probably a very good thing. Kind of like Levy needs to hear this. Levy's tactic, as Stal said, has always been, as soon as things start getting tough, we'll get rid of the manager. And we don't really invest in the team. We don't really do anything to actually make a change for the better. We just get rid of the manager because it's the cheapest change, right?
Mm-hmm.
What Conte's doing is getting out ahead of that. And I think the team needs to hear it because they obviously love him and, make them dig a bit deeper. And there's literally, when you're selling and negotiating, and I run a little company over in Arizona, and I've done this myself, and it's actually a sales tactic. There's a thing called a takeaway, right? And it's where I'm trying to sell you on something, and I go, you know what, guys, you don't want this. I'm out of here. And I start walking. And if you kind of do want it and you're just negotiating with me and you're playing silly games with me, you might go, hey, no. I'm actually interested. Let's get back into this. And that usually comes when you're feeling a little bit like, okay, I need someone to get a message that I'm serious about making change and making something happen. And I feel really strongly, Conte's smart. He's had huge success. If he's a good coach, he's probably a good man manager. He probably understands buttons to push. He's probably had multiple conversations with Levy. The positive, to give Sim some positivity, because he's positive. Well, not that you're not positive, Ben, but Sim has been kind of positive today with this debacle. I like to think that Conte is pushing some buttons and trying to maneuver and manipulate Levy, because think of it this way: if you're Levy and you fired Mourinho, you fired Pochettino, and now you fire Conte, there's nowhere to go from that, right? That's a scary place, even for an idiot like that, right? What does he do next? Who does he hire next? Who wants to come to Tottenham if that happens? I actually think Conte, him saying, "Hey, him saying, I don't know if I'm good enough to do this." Think about it this way. I think it's more along the lines of the best coach in the world is not good enough to change this ship, that maybe Levy and Paratici need to step up their game to help him do it. And I think there's a lot of shots over the bow happening right now to set up summer. Because if we think about it in all honesty, and we think about the situation, this is not Conte's team. This isn't his team. His team won't happen until the summer. Conte wants summer to be big, and it needs to be big for him to have a shot at getting some things happening before his contract runs out. Summer needs to be big. So right now, I kind of feel like, sure, there's an Italian there with a lot of fire, but I actually think there's maybe some thought behind the madness and the aggression and the upset, to actually make some things happen. And if there's not, I don't care, because if I was Levy, I'd be thinking, holy shit, if I don't turn this ship around, this is going to be a nightmare. We're already seeing that the stadium's not sold out every week, right? If that keeps happening, how many more people won't turn up and just, I'm not going to turn up and watch that dross. I'll just watch it on TV. I mean, there's 40-odd thousand season ticket holders that will probably turn up, but those 6,000 seats that aren't being sold, that's real money. And what does Levy care about? right? And you know, if you turn it around and actually think about it positively, 69 points, which would be us winning 10 more games out of the last 14, which would be 4 losses, which would mean we could afford to lose against Arsenal, horrible. We could afford to lose against Man United, and we can afford to lose against Liverpool, and an extra team, which could happen. We would get to 69 points. 69 points over the last 3 years has got you into the Champions League or into Europe or more, right? So, we can all run around with our heads, cut off, and all talk about all the worst. I don't know. I've seen that kind of behavior before with really good managers that are just pissed off and know that there needs to be some pain to make change. And I have a sense that this was a good opportunity for him to do it. And who knows, maybe he's been like, hey, the next big loss that we have against a small team, I want to lose my shit on purpose. So Levy gets the message. So Summer is great. And, we can all talk about Tottenham being this or that and blah, blah, blah. We do have arguably the best coach in the world. He does know his stuff. He knows how to get things to happen. I'm going to look at it positively and think, okay, maybe he's trying to not only manage his team, but manage his management. And if I was management, I would be listening to that and I'd be going, holy crap, we need to make some things happen. And the reality is, there's a good chance that he's going to be, if he loses 5 games, he's still got a good chance of being in the top 5, which will get him into the Europa League at least. So, I don't see that it's the world-ending thing. I know Stal was talking about in the chat, was saying if we don't get in the top 4, we're not going to be able to sign great players. I'm less worried about signing great players because I don't think Conte has a history of needing to have a Manchester City type squad. He's has the ability to turn average players into great players. What I want him to have his team next year, right? And I think that's what he's kind of setting himself up for. So there you go. I have a whole bunch of points that I wrote down that I wanted to go over with you guys, but that's basically my point. And I had to call you. Watching them lose to Burnley, I was like, you know what? I listened to these guys. I've listened to them for a number of years now. Stuff it. I'm going to call. And that's my thought.
Oh, that's we definitely needed to hear that with some positivity, but I'm just reading even more stuff about Antonio Conte, and it's all very worrying. There's the Talk Sport journalist saying the way Conte just spoke to me in an exclusive interview. He said Conte was definitely suggesting he might walk away. That's what Sam Ataves is saying. I have to hear what he actually had to say, and it's worrying if that really is the case. Apparently, Tottenham are set for a meeting with Conte tomorrow morning. Like, what? I mean, what could possibly come out? I mean,
I'm sure we might lose him. Obviously, anything is possible. But who has the strength when he's walking into that meeting with Levy, and Levy's not an idiot. We think some things we think he's an idiot, but I do think that he's going to sit there and Conte will walk into that conversation with some power behind him, right? I mean, he's not walking in there as a guy about to lose his job. He's going to walk in there, and because he's done this takeaway tactic that I mentioned, Levy's going to be there going, okay, what do we need to do to keep you here? What do we need to do to make sure that everything's okay? What's gonna, what are we gonna do to make sure that this doesn't fall apart? And that's because Levy knows that if it does, the shit, he's gonna have a ton of shit fall on his head, and the Levy out becomes very, very real. I mean, I don't know how it becomes untenable to continue running the club if everybody hates him and everybody understand that he's the problem, right? It's not.
Yeah. It's hard to, you're absolutely right.
Firing coaches and not changing the team and blame it on the coaches. At some point, it's him. And I think we've started to see him realizing that it's his problem. I think we have. And I think Conte walking in after having this outburst is going to put him in a little bit of a positive negotiating space than he might have if he was like, you know what, we're trying really hard and we just lost. unlucky. These are the best guys, and it's, that's football, and sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. If he had that kind of reaction, I don't think it would be as a powerful conversation as he would be having, with this conversation. I would be shit scared if I was Paratici and Levy, and I'd be going in there going, Antonio, what do we need to do to make you happy?
All right, Andy.
Shame January just finished, but yeah.
That was a really great call. Really great call.
That was good, Andy. Really good stuff. Thanks for calling in. I hope you call in more. Okay. We need someone more of that commentary. Good stuff.
Speak to you soon, Andy.
Take care. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Let me just read what Sam Matface actually said. He said, I've just spoken to Conte and he's indicated that his tenure as manager may be coming to an end. I asked him if he was thinking about resigning, and he said he needed to speak to the club.
Jesus Christ.
Didn't deny it.
I don't know who this bloody Simon Dobson geezer is on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know. He claims he's a football journalist and he has 30,000 followers. I don't know who he is, honestly.
But his tweet is saying that Antonio Conte considering stepping down as Tottenham manager. Daniel Levy and the Tottenham board are not happy with his comments after the game, and a meeting expected to take place between Conte and the Tottenham board.
Maybe just, yeah.
I hope. But anyway, let's move on. Let's bring on some more guests.
Speechless. I'm speechless.
I know. Let's go to Jamie. Jamie, how are we doing today, mate?
Good, guys. How are you?
Yeah, struggling a bit, to be honest. I mean, I was down after the game, but now with all these Antonio comments, I mean, I don't know what to think, to be honest. I mean, do you think there's an actual possibility that he could be walking very soon?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. Because, I mean, I haven't been on here for a while. I think last time was, when Nuno was about to get the job. So, but
not much has changed then, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, so...
No, go on, carry on, Jamie.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when we appointed Conte, obviously I haven't been on to voice that opinion. Obviously, everyone was over the moon. I was ecstatic, and I couldn't believe we got him, to be honest. But the weird feeling was that the minute we got him, I don't know why, in my mind was, well, how long have we got him for? You know, it was a mixture of excitement and probably sadness, because I really thought, is he, you know, how long is he going to stay? And I talked to a lot of friends, colleagues, and other Spurs fans, and my first feeling was, I can see him walking. I don't even think he's going to last his contract, you know. I just didn't believe. I believe in him, but I still don't believe in the whole establishment, you know, with Levy and everything. I couldn't see much changing in the transfer window. And it looks like, obviously, that's happened. And I was going to echo what Andy just said, that, you know, I felt like he is talking to Levy, you know, because he's saying the group of players are, you know, they're great, they're working hard, these are best players he's had. I think he's talking about their actual ability, you know, they're giving the best that they can, and there's only so far you can take it. And obviously this goes back a long way back when obviously Poch was first talking about it, you know, because you got players who've got that ability, you know, they put in shifts from time to time, had great moments, beaten great teams, but it's always been a problem, consistency. And we haven't been bats for many years now. Conte just reminds me of Poch. You know, you've got the great manager. He knows what to do. He can bring the best out of players, but you still need that investment. You still need those one or two players to really make the difference. You know, it's like Christian Eriksen, for example. We've never replaced him since he's gone. And, you know, you got players who were second choice to Poch, and now they're in the first team. They will give it a great shift, but at the end of the day, if we carry on like this, it doesn't matter who comes in. And I say fair play to Conte. It needed to be said. You needed someone honest, and because previously we've had managers who are like yes men, really. Yeah, okay, Mourinho will say something, but he hasn't got many jobs to go to, so he's not going to really kick up too much of a storm. Nuno was just lucky to be there, so I think it's about time. And Conte's, Poch said it, in brief interviews, but he obviously put up with it, but Conte won't. And that's why I go back to, I couldn't see him lasting, because Conte, even though it sounded like he's in it for the long term, but he will not stay. If he feels nothing's changing, there's no improvement, he will walk, and I don't blame him, because he wears his heart on his sleeve, and it has to be said, and that's definitely a message to Levy. And I just feel, at the end of the day, Levy always seems to win. He tricks managers, he promises them things. He would have tricked Conte into coming and promising the world, but when it comes to the moment, he lets him down. And I think Conte is just speaking the truth. It needs to be said, and I say, if he walks, he walks. And
what would you say? What would you say to fans who are not happy with Conte with what he said today?
Well, I would say you got to look at the history of the club. We've had. If you're saying Conte is one of the best managers, and like Pochettino, he was, okay, not regarded as the best, but he done amazing things, and he got sacked, and he wasn't bad. So it's happened. History has repeated itself. So how could you blame Conte? We was in a mess before he came. Spurs fans were arguing. They was not happy. They saw what's going on, and Conte is just echoing, I felt, what the fans were saying. So yeah, you could say, okay, he's not in it for the fight, but he's right. He's not just going to take the money if he feels there's no improvement. He could easily stay at Spurs and finish, 8th or whatever, and get his salary, and there's no improvement. But he's thinking, what's the point of that? He doesn't want that, and I'm sure he doesn't want that for the club. He wants to see improvement. So I think Spurs fans should really, appreciate his honesty and face facts. We've been average for years, and I mean, I disagree. Like we say, we haven't got the players. I mean, we still have very good players, and they can put performances, but it's always been our consistency that's been the problem. And when we most need it, our heads go down, and it's just, it's sad to see. But I think when you go on a run, you need to be backed. So before the January window, we were starting to turn a corner, but you need to continue to be backed. You've got to get those players and keep improvement, because every other club is doing it. Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City. And it's a shame, because we had great potential, and we could have done this years ago. And we're the only club that's not, really investing, because we finish high in the table. We say we haven't got the players, but we still finish, top half of the table. There's teams that fight every week, and they get relegated or finish in the bottom half. But so we have potential, but it's just adding to it. I don't think we're miles away, but it's such a shame we're on the brink, and then we just don't get backed. And Conte, for me, has said it spot on. He's hit the nail on the head, and I applaud. Personally, I applaud what he said. And if we lose him, it will just be like like when we lost Poch, and history will just repeat itself.
All right, Jamie. Absolute brilliant call. Once again, do call in more, Jamie.
Nice to see you,
Haven't
Jamie.
heard from you in a while. So yeah, we'll speak to you soon, mate.
Okay, take care, guys.
Cheers, Jamie.
Come on, you Spurs. Jory with the super chat saying, Conte resigning tomorrow, and so am I.
Jory's just as emotional as Conte, I think.
Yeah. TT Bone or TT Tone saying, fans pay money and want glory. Levy couldn't care about the glory and takes the money. It's just very hard to take, man. Very hard to take. Is there any other guests? That is it. Okay. So we're going to leave it there, guys. We'll be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Tottenham, where we'll delve even
Could be
deeper.
very interesting, depending on the news overnight.
Yeah, which will delve even deeper into the game, obviously. And if any other news breaks, we'll bring it to you. Player ratings, 5 takeaways, all of that stuff coming your way tomorrow. So good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And let's hope we still have a manager by the morning. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.